Have you ever felt like life keeps throwing the same challenges at you, no matter how hard you try to move forward? It's not a coincidence. It's a calling. These struggles aren't random. They're spiritual tests designed to shape you into who you're meant to become. But here's the thing, most people fail them. And when they do, they miss the one thing that matters most, their true destiny. Think about it. How many times have you doubted your path, questioned your purpose, or felt trapped in endless cycles? These feelings aren't here to break you, they're here to wake you. Each of these 7 tests holds a key to unlocking your potential, but only if you recognize them for what they are. What if you've already faced one of these challenges and didn't even realize it? Today, we're diving into these life-altering tests. From discovering your true self to letting go of what's holding you back, and even surrendering control, each step is more than a trial. It's a transformation. But here's the catch. Failing these tests doesn't just delay your growth, it could cost you your destiny. So let me ask you, are you ready to face the truth about your journey? Or will you let these tests slip by unnoticed, leaving your potential untapped? Stick with me, because by the end of this, you won't just understand the tests, you'll know how to conquer them. Let's get started. Every chosen one's journey begins with fire, not literal flames, but the intense trials that burn away their illusions. People often mistake chosen for gifted, as if destiny is handed on a silver platter. But here's the truth. The universe doesn't choose the prepared, it prepares the chosen. These individuals are shaped by relentless challenges that test their spirit, mind, and heart. And guess what? The tests don't care if you're ready, they come anyway. It's not about being born extraordinary. It's about being willing to endure the crucible. Every scar tells a story, every failure a lesson. Think about it. Would you trust someone who's never fallen, never struggled, to lead you through life's storms? No. The chosen ones earn their place through resilience, becoming stronger with every blow life delivers. But here's a curveball. What if the hardest battles aren't external? The real tests, the ones that define you, are the silent wars fought within. Those sleepless nights where doubt whispers louder than hope. The moments when you question your worth, your purpose, your direction. This is where the magic happens. Growth isn't a gift, it's a choice, a painful, necessary one. And this is where the concept of a chosen one takes on a deeper meaning. Being chosen isn't about recognition or reward, it's about responsibility. The universe chooses you when you choose to rise. It doesn't hand you the blueprint for success. It hands you chaos and watches you create order. Each trial is a question. Will you give up, or will you rise again? The answer determines if you truly belong among the chosen. But here's the kicker. Most people quit. They step away from the fire, unable to bear the heat. And who can blame them? It's easier to stay comfortable, to avoid the pain. But chosen ones don't take the easy road. They walk the path few dare to tread. They learn to see failure as feedback and pain as progress. Do you see now why the chosen aren't born? They're forged? So, here's a thought. Are you willing to embrace the fire? It's scary, no doubt. But remember this. Gold is purified in flames, and diamonds are born under pressure. You don't have to feel ready. You just have to take the first step. Every time you rise after a fall, you're proving that you're made for more. It's not about being fearless. It's about acting despite the fear. And if this feels overwhelming, don't worry. This is only the beginning of the journey. The fire you face now will prepare you for something much greater. The next step. It's not about others. It's about you. Because before you can lead, you must confront yourself. Are you ready to meet the person behind the mask? Let's find out. Test 1. Facing the true self. Imagine standing in front of a mirror that reflects not just your face but your soul. No filters, no masks, no pretense. That's the first test. To confront who you are without the armor you've built over the years. It's raw, uncomfortable, even terrifying. But here's the thing. You can't become who you're meant to be without first seeing who you truly are. Are you brave enough to look? Society teaches us to wear masks. Be polite, fit in, don't stand out too much. Over time, these masks become so convincing that even we start believing them. But deep down, you know when something doesn't feel right. That ache in your chest when you say yes but mean no. That's your true self begging to be heard. This test demands you strip it all away. Here's the catch. Facing your true self isn't about fixing what's broken. It's about accepting all of it. The good, the bad, the messy. Think about it. How can you love yourself if you don't even know yourself? The first time you stand exposed, it's like staring into an abyss. But remember this, growth starts where comfort ends. This test will force you to ask questions most people avoid. Am I living for myself or for others? What parts of me have I hidden out of fear? These questions sting, but they're necessary. You might discover wounds you've ignored for years. And yes, it'll hurt. But every scar tells a story, and every story holds a lesson. You might wonder, why does this even matter? Well, here's a secret. Until you know who you are, you'll never know what you want. You'll chase goals that don't fulfill you and relationships that drain you. Facing yourself is the foundation for everything else. Without it, every other test crumbles. Do you feel the weight of that truth? But let's be real, it's not a one-time thing. You'll face your true self again and again, peeling back layer after layer. And each time, you'll uncover a deeper version of you. It's like climbing a mountain. The higher you go, the more breathtaking the view. But the climb, it takes grit. Are you willing to climb? The mirror doesn't lie, but it also doesn't judge. This test isn't here to break you. It's here to wake you up. The person you'll meet on the other side of this test? They're stronger, wiser, freer. But first, you'll have to spend time in solitude, a step most people fear. Are you ready for the silence? Let's talk about what happens when the world goes quiet. Test 2. Isolation. What happens when the noise fades, and it's just you and your thoughts? That's the essence of this test, facing solitude. For many, silence is deafening. It amplifies doubts, fears, and regrets. But here's the twist. Isolation isn't a punishment, it's an opportunity. The question is, will you embrace it or run from it? In a world obsessed with connection, being alone feels unnatural. Social media, endless notifications, they're all distractions that keep you from sitting with yourself. But isolation strips all that away. It forces you to confront the voice you've been ignoring, your own. And let's be honest, that voice? It might not be kind at first. Here's where the magic happens. In the stillness, you begin to hear whispers of clarity. Who are you when no one's watching? What do you truly value when the world's expectations fall silent? These moments of reflection are where transformation begins. It's uncomfortable, yes. But isn't growth always uncomfortable? Now, here's the hard truth. Isolation isn't about loneliness. It's about presence. Loneliness craves company, but presence finds peace in solitude. Picture yourself sitting by a quiet lake, the water still and clear. That's your mind when you embrace isolation. It's in this calm that answers emerge, not from the world, but from within. Practical tip: start small. Spend 10 minutes daily in silence. No phone, no distractions. Just you. At first, your mind will race. That's normal. But stick with it, and you'll notice a shift. Ideas flow, clarity sharpens, and a sense of peace settles in. It's like clearing the fog from a window to finally see the view. But beware, this test isn't a one-time experience. Isolation will revisit you in different forms. A quiet evening, a long drive, a season of life where friends seem distant. Each time, it will ask, "Are you comfortable with yourself yet?" It's a lifelong conversation with your soul. How deep are you willing to go? And here's the kicker. Isolation doesn't just reveal who you are, it prepares you for what's next. It builds resilience, focus, and inner strength. Qualities you'll need for the next challenge. Because the next test, it's about letting go of what no longer serves you. Are you ready to release the weights holding you back? Test 3, letting go. Letting go isn't about giving up, it's about freeing yourself. This test asks you to release attachments that no longer serve your growth. Whether it's a toxic relationship, an unfulfilled dream, or even your own expectations, holding on too tightly creates chains you can't see. The question is, what are you clinging to, and is it worth it? Imagine trying to climb a mountain while carrying a heavy backpack. Each step becomes harder, each breath more strained. Now, picture dropping that weight and feeling the freedom of moving forward unhindered. That's what letting go does. It lightens your soul so you can rise higher. But releasing something familiar is never easy, is it? Here's the challenge. We often confuse attachment with love or loyalty. You might think, if I let go, I'll lose a part of myself. But the truth is, letting go doesn't diminish you. It reveals your strength. It takes courage to say, "This no longer defines me." Are you ready to claim that courage? Letting go isn't always dramatic. Sometimes it's as simple as releasing control over outcomes. Have you ever noticed how tightly you grip plans, trying to force things to go your way? Yet, life has a way of surprising you when you loosen your grip. Trusting the process is its own kind of freedom. Take a moment to reflect. What in your life feels heavy right now? Maybe it's a job that drains you or a friendship that's turned one-sided. Letting go doesn't mean failure. It means you value your well-being enough to move forward. Write it down. Name it. Then ask yourself, what would my life look like without this? This test teaches one of life's hardest lessons. Not everything is meant to stay. People change, seasons shift, and what once served you might now hold you back. But in every ending lies the seed of a new beginning. Letting go clears space for what truly belongs in your life. Are you ready for something better? And here's the beauty. Once you let go, you realize how much lighter life can feel. But letting go isn't the final challenge. It's the doorway to a deeper transformation. The next test takes you into the heart of darkness, where your greatest fears and truths collide. Will you step through? Test 4, the dark night of the soul. At some point, you'll find yourself standing at the edge of a deep, uncharted abyss. This phase isn't just a test, it's an unraveling. It strips away every illusion you've clung to, leaving you bare and vulnerable. It's not about punishment, it's about discovery. How can you uncover truth without confronting the lies you've built around it? Life often brings moments where everything feels lost, where the familiar fades, and you're left questioning your place in the universe. This dark night plunges you into intense emotional and spiritual chaos. Yet, beneath the turmoil lies an invitation. Will you explore the depths, or will you turn away in fear? Unlike any challenge before, this isn't a battle you can win by force. Strength alone won't carry you here. Surrender and introspection are your only allies. You'll feel moments of despair, thinking, why me? But the true question is, what is this teaching me? In the darkness, wisdom whispers. When the world around you crumbles, your inner resilience becomes the foundation. It's like walking through a storm. You can't control the wind, but you can decide to keep moving. This test reshapes you from the inside out, leaving no part of your soul untouched. The transformation is inevitable, but only if you embrace it. Take a closer look at your life. Has there been a moment when everything felt like it was falling apart? Those moments often hide the greatest breakthroughs. It's in the depths that diamonds form, not under the sun but under pressure. What if this darkness is molding you for something greater? The hardest part of this test is trusting that there's light at the end of the tunnel. In the moment, it feels endless. But every storm passes, and every dark night fades into dawn. The key is patience. When everything within you screams to give up, will you hold on just a little longer? As the light begins to break through, clarity replaces confusion. You'll see yourself and the world with new eyes. But the journey doesn't stop here. The next challenge asks you to go beyond faith in the universe and find faith in yourself. Are you ready to believe in your own power? Test 5. Faith. Faith isn't about certainty. It's about trust when certainty is nowhere to be found. This test demands you believe in something greater. Yourself, the universe, or even a future you can't yet see. It's the ultimate leap into the unknown, where doubt tugs at every step. Can you move forward without seeing the path ahead? There are moments when everything feels hopeless, when the weight of failure or rejection presses too hard. In these times, faith becomes your anchor. It whispers, keep going, even when your mind screams, stop. The question isn't whether you'll face doubt, it's whether you'll let it stop you. Imagine standing at a cliff's edge with a vast, foggy expanse before you. You can't see what's beyond, but you feel it. Taking that step is terrifying, but it's the only way forward. Faith works the same way. It asks you to trust the unknown, not because you're sure, but because you're willing. The beauty of faith lies in its resilience. It grows strongest in the darkest moments, like a candle flickering in the wind yet refusing to extinguish. Each time you trust despite the odds, that flame grows brighter. Can you nurture that light within you, even when the world feels cold? Sometimes faith isn't a grand belief, but a quiet persistence. It's in the small acts, getting up after a bad day, trying again after failure, or choosing kindness when bitterness seems easier. These moments are proof that faith isn't just an abstract idea. It's a way of living. How do you practice it in your life? It's easy to have faith when everything is going well, but this test thrives in adversity. That's when your resolve is tested. When the evidence suggests otherwise, will you trust that everything is unfolding as it should? Faith is a muscle. Use it, and it grows. Neglect it, and it withers. As you strengthen your faith, you'll notice a shift. Life's uncertainties become less frightening, and your inner compass steadier. This newfound trust prepares you for the next trial, the art of surrender. Are you ready to stop resisting and flow with life's current? Test 6. Surrender. Surrender is not about giving up. It's about letting go of the illusion of control. This test challenges you to release your grip on life's steering wheel and trust the flow of the journey. Fighting against the current only exhausts you, while surrendering allows you to move effortlessly. Are you ready to stop resisting? Think about how often we try to control outcomes. We plan every detail, cling to expectations, and panic when things don't go our way. But life isn't a puzzle to solve, it's a river to navigate. The more you force it, the more turbulent it becomes. What would happen if you trusted the current instead? Letting go of control doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop forcing. It's the difference between holding onto a rope until your hands bleed and gently loosening your grip. Surrender isn't passive, it's intentional. It asks you to trust that the universe has a bigger plan than your own. Here's a thought. When have you fought hardest against life? Did it bring peace, or did it bring more chaos? Surrender invites you to ask a different question. Not how can I make this work, but what is this trying to teach me? The answers may surprise you. In moments of surrender, clarity often emerges. You begin to see opportunities where you once saw obstacles. Relationships improve, stress fades, and solutions reveal themselves effortlessly. Why? Because you're no longer trying to force a narrative. Can you feel the weight lifting just thinking about it? The truth is, surrender takes incredible strength. It's an act of courage to release the need for control, especially in a world that glorifies hustle and effort. But this isn't about giving up, it's about giving in to life's natural rhythm. How might your life change if you stopped fighting against the tide? Once you master surrender, you'll notice a profound shift in your perspective. You'll begin to understand that life is less about control and more about alignment. This mindset prepares you for the ultimate revelation, awakening. Are you ready to see the world and yourself with new eyes? Test 7. Awakening. Awakening isn't a single moment. It's a profound shift in how you see yourself and the world. It's as if a veil is lifted, and everything becomes clearer. This test is about transcending fear, ego, and illusions to discover the interconnectedness of all things. But here's the catch. Awakening often comes after the hardest struggles. Think of it as the dawn after a long, dark night. At first, the light feels blinding. It forces you to confront truths you've ignored. You realize that much of what you feared wasn't real and that the limits you once believed in were self-imposed. What could you achieve if those limits vanished? This awakening isn't about gaining something new. It's about remembering what was always within you. You start to see life not as a battle to win, but as a dance to enjoy. Challenges don't disappear, but your relationship with them changes. You learn to flow with life instead of fighting against it. One of the most transformative aspects of awakening is the dissolution of the ego. The walls you built to protect yourself, pride, fear, and judgment, start to crumble. In their place, you find compassion, understanding, and connection. Imagine the freedom of living without the need to prove anything to anyone, including yourself. Awakening also brings responsibility. With clarity comes the awareness that your choices ripple outward, affecting others and the world. This isn't a burden but a gift. You realize that you're not separate from the universe. You're an integral part of it. How might this awareness shape your actions? This test is less about doing and more about being. It's an invitation to live authentically, aligned with your deepest truths. It asks you to shed old identities and step fully into your power. But awakening doesn't mean the journey is over. It means you're finally walking the path you were always meant to take. As you awaken, you unlock the greatest gift of all, freedom. Freedom from fear, from doubt, and from the endless chase for validation. But this freedom isn't the end. It's the beginning of a new way of living. So, what's next? How will you use this newfound clarity to shape your destiny? Every step of this journey has led you closer to one undeniable truth. Growth isn't easy, but it's always worth it. These 7 spiritual tests aren't just challenges, they're opportunities. Opportunities to break free from old patterns, to embrace your inner strength, and to claim the destiny that's been waiting for you all along. But here's the real question. What will you do with this knowledge? Will you let it fade into the background of your busy life, or will you take action? You have the tools now. You've seen the path. All that's left is for you to take the first step. And remember, every great transformation begins with a single decision. So, what's holding you back? Share your thoughts in the comments. Which of these tests resonates with your life right now? Let's talk about it, because growth doesn't have to be a lonely road. And if this message hit home for you, share it with someone you care about. Together, we can spark a ripple of change. Finally, if you're ready to keep exploring this journey, don't stop here. Click through to the next video. It's the essential next step. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. Let's keep climbing this mountain together. After all, your true destiny is waiting at the summit.